Hey everybody, welcome to another action-packed, exciting, but somewhat sad episode of Scotty's Record Shop. Uh, Before we go too much further, I'm not in my usual surroundings. I'm where I used to make videos, which was downstairs with the records and stuff. But we are going to be looking at CDs. I have most of this stuff by this band, well, at least the early stuff in the 70s and 80s on vinyl, but to do it all, it's just easier to do it on CD. Uh, as you saw in the title and thumbnail and everything else, whatever, we're looking at the studio albums by ZZ Top because today, as of the filming of this, which is August, what, 18th, I think we are? Yeah. It's been a long day at work, and then come home and it's like I see the news about Frank Beard, their original founding member, drummer extraordinaire, passing away yesterday on the 17th, and I was like, I wasn't going to do a ZZ Top ranking yet. I had something else planned, and it's like, no, we're doing this because I have it and we're going to do it. And funny thing was, I was preparing to do this video. One of my neighbors, one of my friends, Emily, you are officially a star now. You've been mentioned not just on my radio show, but on YouTube. Emily, my neighbor, and her awesome fiance check out my videos and listen to my radio show, which an internet radio show, which I don't talk about too much on here, but anyway. And she was like, "Hey, can you please do a ZZ Top ranking if you haven't already?" And it's like I was like in the middle of getting it all together. It's like, okay, so I just figured I'd mention her. Another thing I want to mention is um, some videos back, and I appreciate all the comments people make. Some of them make me chuckle, some of them just whatever. People are people. One person made a comment about one video where it's like he looks um, unkept or something and disorganized and did it. This video's for you because guess what? I just got out of work a little while ago, and yeah, I mean I've had a whole like half an hour to think about this. So yes, I'm unkept. Sorry about that, and I'm unprepared. So there you go. Speaking of people, I'd like to say hello and welcome to our new subscribers. And for those who have not yet subscribed, and there are people that are watching this who have not yet subscribed, if you could please subscribe, comment, put a thumbs up, it would be greatly appreciated. I'm not trying to get rich and famous on these videos, and it isn't going to happen anyway, especially at the rate I'm going now. But if you could do that, I would greatly appreciate it, okay? I do appreciate each and every one of you. I say that in every video. Okay, 14. Scott, there's 15 ZZ Top studio albums. Yes, there is. There's an album that came out, I think it was the last thing they did, called Raw. But it's them redoing former songs. So there's nothing new on there really that I'm aware of. Great album though. Great album. They still had it. They were kicking it. Uh Unfortunately, here at the bottom, bad. For me, bad. And then we get great. Okay, so let's get into this. Um Hopefully I get all these titles right. Some of these are in, you know, Del Guayos and Tohaz or Tojaz or however you want to say it. Tohaz actually should be. Anyway, so I'm not bilingual. I don't speak Spanish. So there you go. Let's get into it, huh? 14 albums. Doing this for Frank Beard. What a great drummer. I've seen them a couple of times, and they were great. They were a great band. They came up to Maine several times. As a matter of fact, some trivia for people who are up here in Maine that you guys who aren't from Maine won't care about. In Portland, Maine, which is our biggest city, uh, there's a place, I don't know what they're calling it now, but when it first opened, it was called the Cumberland County Civic Center. It was what was it, like a 10,000 seat Arena or something like that. The very first band to play at the Cumberland County Civic Center when it first opened in 1976 was ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, ZZ Top. So there you go. All right. Start at the bottom. This pains me. This I know that there were a lot of people in the mid to late 80s were like, this was great, Sleeping Bag. And but Rough Boys is an okay song. It's a ballad, but it's okay. The rest of this is shite to me. They went too far. It was not good. It just did not work for me. And it is easily, easily the bottom for me at number 14. Afterburner. Ugh. Honestly, I don't know why, but this is kind of close to it for me. Same thing, kind of. It's like they were still searching for a hit. Antenna. I mean, it is better than Afterburner, but it just doesn't do the first three, and especially the first three here, just don't. I don't know. It just never. I never clung to them. I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, at number 13, at lucky number 13, Antenna. Some people put this before Antenna, like right after Afterburner, because it came out right after Afterburner. But there are a few things on here that I actually like. Although they were still wanting to be the hit band, I'm sure the record company, Recycler. Ugh. There are a few redeeming things on here, really. It's getting better. It is getting better. I just was really disappointed that after Eliminator, which is a great album, you'll see where that comes in. I like Eliminator. That they were like, we got to keep with the trend, and we got to, and it sucks because this was not who they were. This was not ZZ Top, kids. This was, if there was ever a word or an album that could be labeled sellout, it would be this one. Sorry, I keep shitting all over that, but anyway, Recycler at number 12. Number 12, I believe. Yes, number 12. Keep hitting this. Sorry about that, kids. Anyway, next one. It's getting better. It really is. Triple X. It's getting better. They're kind of wanting hits, but they're not trying nearly as hard. At the end of their career, they really started shifting back to just dirty, nasty rock and roll. And that's what they were. They were a nasty, rock and roll band, Southern rock and roll band. And they thankfully, before everything went down, you know, um, before Dusty died and now Frank, they got back to it. And they're working on it here. So number 11, Triple X. Hope I'm saying this right. Rhythmine. We're getting better. Definitely. I think from this point on, from Triple X onward, Rhythmine, and these are all very listenable for me albums. Not great, but listenable. So anyway, this was number 10, I believe. I always lose my count. Whatever. Okay. This next one people put a lot higher, and I don't know. There's some stuff on here that I don't want to pick on individual songs too much, but I just didn't connect with this. After the album that came out before this was so good. And this was just okay, talking about El Loco. Not a bad album, just, um, it kind of like, you got Del Guayos, then you got this, kind of went down, and then you had Eliminator, went right back up. So this was kind of, some people really love this. I get it. And if you do, I get it. I don't blame you. So, but, El Loco. Um, the last album of all original material, I think it's a pretty good album. Dirty, raunchy, nasty, grungy, beautiful, ZZ Top. And if this was the way that they were going to go out, and this ended up being the way I hope they don't make another album. I know that sounds really weird. I mean, Billy Gibbons can make albums all he wants. He is still making albums, and they're pretty good. But I hope he doesn't put out a ZZ Top album again, because it's just, I don't know. Uh, 2/3 of the band are gone. So, but anyway, what album am I talking about? El Futura. Is that what it is? Yeah. La Futura, not El Futura. La Futura. This is a pretty damn good album, honestly. I'm happy with it. Okay. Now, moving onward, we go from their last album to their first album from 1972. Brilliantly titled ZZ Top's first album. This is rocket science here, huh? They were into the tequila apparently, even back then. Really good album. They're not fully where they were gonna be, but this is a really damn good album. I enjoy this. Really do. So there we go. ZZ Top's first album. And as time went on, they got better. As example, Rio Grande Mud, their second album. This is even better. You're getting even better here. Uh, really, really, really dig this album. Okay. The aforementioned Del Guayos. I was really happy when the cheap sunglasses and I thank you. They just, it was a great album. Uh, and I appreciate the album that came out before that. Uh, and they went on a couple year hiatus. This came out in 79, right? 79? Yeah. 79. And they had been away. 77, no ZZ Top album. 78, no ZZ Top album. No tours, no nothing. They had just disappeared. And we're learning today, I saw in an interview I learned today, that part of it had to do with the fact that Frank Beard had to get his act together. He was really having way too much fun living the rock and roll lifestyle, and he had to clean up a little bit. And I mean, I'm sure that that's not the only reason that they took a break, but he took advantage of that break to kind of stop killing himself, basically. But boy, when they came back, great album. Great album. Speaking of 1976, in the year that they played the Cumberland County Civic Center in Portland, Maine, opening it was for this album. I used to call it Toe Jazz. Used to joke with my brother. We used to call it Toe Jam. But I believe the J is supposed to be pronounced as an H, so it'd be Topaz, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, because I probably am. I really liked this album. They really changed their sound on this album a lot from the previous albums. They put instrumentals on here that was um, just it was just different. And of course, they had the boogie stuff, Arrested While Driving, Driving Blind, uh, It's Only Love, you know. Um, it's just a really good album. And it's we're indie albums now that like my brother turned me on to. My brother turned me on to. I keep mentioning my dearly departed brother, but he was such an important influence on my music, on my love for music and my love for certain albums and groups. And he was very influential in my development of being a ZZ Top fan. By the time Del Guayos came out, I was already buying records and I got that myself, thank you very much. But in 76, he got this and the preceding albums, especially the next, well, not the next two, but anyway. At number 4, Tohaz, or Toe Jazz, or Toe Jam, however you want to. So it's all up to you. If you bought it, whoa, hello, God, sorry about that, kids. If you bought it, you name it, right? I am really friggin' up today. Okay, here we go. All right. This is why I don't make these videos. Let's fix this a little bit here. Down here too much anymore. Okay? I just don't. And it's hot as hell today. This is one of those really steamy days in northern New England. So, all right, I know. Womp womp, whining. All right. Number 3, Eliminator. I got sick of this album for a while because it just kept getting played, and it still does, Um, Sharp Dressed Man, Legs, um, Give Me All Your Lovin', all the time, still. They're classic. But this is just a really good album, and it deserves, I mean, this is what made them into superstars. And they deserve it for this album. Okay? All right. Number 3, Eliminator. Number 2, some people put this a little lower. I just love it. People are like, well, the side that's live is, I love it. I'm sorry, I love it. Fandango. Love this album. Love, love, love this album. Remember when my brother brought this home when it first came out, or shortly thereafter, in 75. I think he was at the show they played here in my hometown of Lewiston, Maine, about 3 blocks from where we were living at the time. And it was 75, so it would be for this album. And it was ZZ Top with Brownsville Station opening up. And he came home, and I think the next day he bought this. And, there you go. Love this album. Number 2, Fandango. And the number 1 album for me, and really, I think for a lot of people, they put this, especially if you're into the classic era of ZZ Top, the 70s stuff. This is the shits. This is it right here. Tres Hombres. This is fantastic. Fantastic. Primo, my favorite ZZ Top album. Now, before we leave, I want to mention something here to you guys without tipping everything over again. If you may have noticed, and you probably have, on a lot of the early to mid 70s ZZ Top, in the 80s when they issued all that stuff on CD, they enhanced it. And the drums had a big sound, and there was a lot more reverb. And a part of what made ZZ Top sound really good was its tightness, the dead drums, just the tightness of it. And I never liked those CDs. I bought them, some of them when they came out, because it was the only way to get them on CD. Now, if you want the original mixes of these early albums, which I got from, these came from this right here. is your box set to get. Okay, and there's all of these albums that I showed you. And the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, the first 5, all of the ones that were originally on London here in America, first five are the original mixes again. So this is the way, if you want them on CD, to get them in their original, proper, correct form. Do that, okay? All right. Before I hit my laptop again and drop it on the floor or do something other, I appreciate your patience with this, because like I said, it's been a long day. This isn't my most glamorous video, but it was really necessary because I really love ZZ Top. And I thought Frank Beard was an amazing, very underrated drummer, and I really had to put this out today. Alrighty? Until next time, my friends, peace and love.